Buckle up, sports fanatics. This is the Sports Chasers Podcast, your HQ for in-depth sports talk. Join host Kevin L. Warren and crew as they dissect the hottest stories, ignite debates, and bring you closer to the action. From locker room whispers to expert takes, we cover it all. It's game time, so strap in and grab a drink. The Sports Chasers Podcast starts right now.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on, everybody? It's another edition of the Sports Chasers Podcast coming to you live and direct. It's the Monday Night Football Blitz coming to you live and direct, man. We have a lot to get into when it comes into the world of football and the world of sports. Hey, if you was waiting for some competitive college football games this past weekend from Friday to Saturday, I guess you lost. So we will talk about that. There's a lot of disappointed people. Some people said they're happy. But we'll get into it. The guys were chomping at the bit. DA was saying, this is what y'all wanted. And, well, this is what we got. So, hey, here goes the crew. DA, what's up? What's going on? How are you tonight, sir?
I'm good. Listen, man, I don't want to be a disappointment tonight, but I really ain't got shit to say. It was bad football, 20-point games. If it's a 20-point difference in the game, just know. You could look it up in the dictionary. That means it's a bad game. It also means that somebody didn't belong there. And I remember back in the days, Central Florida, Cincinnati, all that stupid shit you people talk. You have no understanding of what you pay your mortgage and your house bills every month, but don't know a damn thing about money. Money talks, bullshit walks. That's it. Like, if you really believed that those teams are supposed to be playing this weekend, you're crazy. They could have just not had those games, let these teams take a week off, and I'm guaranteeing you, the same teams will be playing last weekend that will be playing against this weekend. Same games are coming. Those are more spots, so advertisers are putting in more advertising dollars for people to do like me and turn the game on and then roll over and fall asleep. Yeah, that's it. That's all, folks.
That was an awesome introduction.
Yeah, that's all I got for that, man. I'm so done with
what you got, man?
Where we at? I'm sorry, I just jumped in. College football, I presume.
Yeah, college. Yeah.
Yeah, it was awful, man. It was straight up awful. Awful. 4 games, awful. Started off with Notre Dame and Indiana. Indiana did not belong. It is what it is.
They damn near don't belong in the Big Ten.
Yes, I mean, you could say that. And then we jumped off to SMU, who definitely looked like they didn't even wake up to show up for the game. And then we jump into Ohio State and
Tennessee,
which was, I expected a little bit better game, but
I did too.
Tennessee did,
waxed.
Yeah. And shout out to Ryan Day. Yes, I was one of the ones, and I'm getting back to Kurt Herbstreit, who went on this thing of like all of a sudden he's like, the moral police, and oh yes. Ryan Day lost it 4 times to Michigan.
We're gonna argue about that one.
Well, I mean,
is Michigan playing?
The Michigan is not playing. However,
okay.
But that's his job. His job is to beat Michigan. That's what he's paid for.
His job's to win.
That's one of the things he's paid for. Let me put it like that.
Yeah, he has to come out the conference.
I know, but again, like I said, I don't think nobody said that the man can't coach. It's just that the fans of Ohio State expect him to beat Michigan. That's all was said. I don't know what is the thing about negativity and all this other shit.
I don't really have a problem with the negativity, D.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Watch the language, guys.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right.
It went out the window already.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I apologize, guys. It's my first week back. I apologize, everyone. But listen, this is the reality. If you're in a big conference as the coach, right, you're going to have rivalry games that there is an expectation that you win, right?
Right.
But that's only if the other team isn't recruiting too. Like, let's go back to the facts. Can we go back to the 2 or 3 recruiting scandals that Michigan had? Where they were getting players so what? So Ryan Day is supposed to automatically now that Harbaugh is taking the kids to the Vatican, going to kids' houses and off visiting times of the year to get kids in there, right? He knows what he's doing. Mm-hmm. He's getting kids there. And his job is to beat Ohio State. So what he did was not just won the kids, it was a style of play that he had that beat Ohio State. They got an S in the first letter, there's an OF, and there's a T at the end. And that's why you think Michigan beat them this year, because they ran the ball and played defense. No, this is not rocket science. So Harbaugh did what he did to beat Ohio State, and he did that, right? So everybody has these.
But Harbaugh is not the coach.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, Dan. But they use the same style this year to beat them, right? But no one has that same smoke for Ryan Franklin, who hasn't beat either one of those teams.
Yeah, that's a hold on, G. That's a you right. That's another story for another day.
No, it's the same conference, same story, right? Because Penn State is as big a program as the other two. But guess what they don't do? They don't beat the other two teams. I keep asking why this dude still have a job. I think Herbie was saying that for you dudes that are not totally knowledgeable and just trying to come up with a story to say, yo, if you don't beat this team this year, excuse me, but they need to be fired. Why? Because it has to be context, man. Recruiting, some teams are up, excuse me, down. When I always say, when you got a senior-laden team, you got kids there that senior, you're always going to be better. Like, because Wake Forest will come through a year where they win 10 games. Bet you they got 15 seniors between the offense and the defense. You get better that way because no one keeps all seniors, right? So Michigan had seniors when they won the national championship. The year before that, they got dog walked by Georgia. And the year before that, they didn't even make it. So what I'm saying is, when C.J. Stroud played that game and almost beat Georgia, I don't think that Michigan was even in the playoffs that year. So this is what I'm saying, fellas. Let's have some context before we get dudes fired. I know we joke about it because it's a thing people like to hear and joke about. But and I'm not a Kev. Do I hate Ohio State? Yes, I've always hated them since they got rid of Pryor. When Tressel was the coach, and they fired the dude for getting a tattoo, and other dudes are driving cars on the lot. Stop playing, man. I hate the hypocrisy. But I can't get on this one dude because, you don't beat Michigan. Well, Michigan was good enough to win a championship. And they were in the 4 when it was only 4 the year before that. So they evidently had a pretty good team. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
Okay. I agree.
Not mad, and Kirk Herbstreit, why can't we call out? If you're at work, Kev, and D, you at work, E, you at work, and you got an idiot that works with you that doesn't do their job. Oh, so you're not supposed to say, yo, man, what's wrong with you?
I do it.
All right. So these dudes sound like no, D, shut up. Shut up, D. Go ahead. I'm done. I'm mute my mouth. I might say it, but you ain't
the angry one. You got anything on this?
Yeah, this was supposed to be introductions. Hold on, before the angry one goes, make sure you like, click, and subscribe for the channel. Make sure you get all the hit the bell for all the notifications. Make sure you give us that 5-star review on the podcast side. And as you can see, we are fired up tonight. College football, the playoffs. This is what the people wanted. I'll give it to the angry one. Go ahead.
Yo, first and foremost, man, happy Monday. Monday Night Blitz. The Chasers is back at it, first and foremost. Secondly, man, college football. First of all, could we please send SMU back to where they belong? They don't belong in the ACC. I'm sorry. Man, this was a rather lackluster weekend when it comes to college football. That's all, and that's it, man. I'm not as passionate as these gentlemen are about college football, man, because like I've said many, many times on this very show, Yo, man, college football, the antics, the politics, and all that other stuff, man. If it was just sports that's on the field, we would all be in love all day, every day, 24/7. But it's not. It's backdoor antics and such. And this is like DA said, this is what y'all wanted. This is what y'all got. It is what it is. I'm not even asking questions no more. Why this team is this and that team is that and yada yada yada. Yo, man, the Alabamas, the Georgias, the mainstays are there for a reason. I'm not even going to say nothing else. I'm not going to beat myself over the head talking about this same day over and over again. It is what it is, man. So I'm sure folks in Alabama saying that's why we should have been in. We would have gave y'all a better game. Hell, we probably would have won. It is what it is.
But you lost to Oklahoma, so suck
That's
it.
all I got, Kev. That's all.
Go ahead, Dan. Dan's with us. He's not on camera.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not on camera. I'm not feeling well. You don't want to watch me blow my nose all night. But no, Alabama, you can suck it. You lost to Oklahoma 24-3. You couldn't even score a touchdown, and you had 3 losses. Yeah, guess what?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you don't belong there. And let's just really put this out there, right? 16 teams decided to join a conference together.
Yep.
A lot of great teams. And at the end of the day, you got to play 8 of them. And you got, what's the matter you, underwater basket weaving, University of, Northern Michigan, whatever it is. You're going to have your cupcakes. But at the end of the day, if you lose games at the end of the year, everybody remembers. If you lose at the beginning of the year, nobody cares. So that being said, SMU lost to BYU 18-15 at the beginning of the year. And then they went on a run. And they made it. And say what you want to say. The ACC, whatever. The biggest monkey wrench in this entire football playoff thing was Clemson beating SMU. And that screwed everything up for everybody. The Alabamas, the Ole Miss, the South Carolinas. Clemson shouldn't have been there. If Miami could have beat an unranked team, granted, Syracuse ended up being 21st in the nation, but at the time that they played them, they weren't.
Right.
But let's go through. Bama lost to Vandy 40-35. They lost to Oklahoma 24-3. They lost to Tennessee 24-17. 3-loss team. Bama, thank you. Glad you came, but you're not in. Ole Miss.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, Ole Miss lost to Kentucky 20-17. They lost to LSU 29-26. Late in the season, who did lose to? Florida. Not a good team, 24-17. South Carolina, the one team that I thought had a better chance than any team in the country to sneak into this until Clemson won. They lost 6-33 to LSU. They lost 27-3 to Ole Miss, and they lost to Bama 27-25. But they won their last 6 games. Clemson, they won some good games. That being said, the hotter team, the better team out of the SEC was South Carolina going into the rest of the season. But they got screwed.
They were playing the best at the end of the year.
Yes, they were playing the best. Yes, they lost to Alabama.
Unfortunately, that was their thing. Their thing is that they lost to a team that was in front of them. Dan, I agree with all this. And it takes me back to the same place I've been. The computer.
I'm down with you. But here's the thing with the computer. You had 16 teams decide to join a power conference.
That's fine.
And when you get 3 losses and there's other teams that have 1 or 2 losses,
but if they didn't play,
you're going to suffer. But that's going to punish you.
I think it's going to. I think it can do both, Dan. I think both can be true, right? So it can punish you if you have 3 losses, right? But just say you played and you lost to Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee. 3 teams ranked in the top 10. You had 3 losses. All the very, very good teams. The reality is this. The computer would say, oh, well, these guys were hot and these guys were cold. The computer would say, what's their RPI? Who are the common opponents? And their wins and losses. We're going to take all the friendship and niceties out of this, right? Because if you do that, you probably still, as Kev alluded to, and I'm not saying you got to like the team but don't like the team. What I'm saying to you is any one of the 3 teams you named from the SEC were better than all 4 of the teams that lost over the weekend. Period.
But I disagree with that because
I will argue you till I'm dead.
Well, okay. So Alabama,
which one of those teams is beating Alabama? Both teams playing at their best this year. Which team that lost beats Alabama?
May I talk? Alabama lost to Oklahoma, a non-ranked SEC team at the end of the year.
I understand you.
Okay.
I'm not saying they're a great team. What I'm saying is that
but you don't know what you're getting either.
The 4 teams
one week they're good, 1 week they're bad.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have lost by 20 in the bowl game.
Dear, we don't know that.
Come on.
We know what did happen, right? We know what did happen. All I know is that looking at it with what you've seen this year, was SMU beating Alabama? Were they beating South Carolina? And were they beating Ole Miss?
Well, that's a toss-up with South Carolina because they were playing way better than they've been all year.
Listen, I don't want to.
So I would say South Carolina beats Alabama because Alabama couldn't score a touchdown against Oklahoma.
Yeah, but they scored 6 of them against South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? So styles still do
at the
make
beginning
fights.
of the year.
Yeah, but like I said, styles still make fights, man.
Look, we could argue about this all day.
We probably could.
The losses at the beginning of the year don't matter. The losses at the end of the year matter because now you have continuity, you have chemistry, you have all these things that you didn't have at the beginning of the year, and now.
And I think that's beautiful, Dan. I don't disagree with you, but what I'm saying is, if you're on the other side and your team went undefeated the whole year, and they started,
Oregon.
There is something.
Okay, Oregon.
No, what I'm saying is there
Oregon's
were props.
undefeated.
There were props to be given to a team for being in the right place when the season started and being consistent the whole year. I understand that Alabama had losses here and there. Texas had losses. They lost to the same team twice in 1 year, right? So what I'm saying is, I got what you're saying, and I don't disagree that happens. But what I am also saying is that the computer would not give you points because Darryl got to work on Monday.
Well, at the end of the day, too.
And at the end of the week, he got to work at 10 o'clock. Like, nah, dog, listen. It's when you're supposed to be there and what happened.
Go ahead,
so what you're saying is if an 11-3 team that plays in the SEC because they decided to have a super conference, that all these other teams and other conferences don't matter.
I know we have to keep going, but Dan.
No, we got all night, bro.
No, seriously, Dan. No, I'm not trying to be funny, but
this is what it
Dan,
is.
Me and Kev and me and Darryl have talked about this. This isn't the first season that the SEC has had the best conference in football far and away. 4 years ago, listen.
Shame on you for putting all the great teams in that
well,
conference. That's your penalty.
Now, that's why I say it can be a penalty, but it should also be opposite. Because if you're playing good teams your whole schedule, you should get some credit for playing good teams.
I get that, but
right, because then the opposite of that is Indiana was 10-1 or whatever, and the only good team they played, they got whooped by in conference, and then they got to the bowl game and then they got stomped out. Right, so you're saying, well, they won 10 games. Yeah, so what? They played me 1 week, Kev 1 week, Darryl 1 week, Eric 1 week, and then they had a hard game against you. Right, and so they didn't play anybody.
That's on that. That is on the SEC.
That's why it can be both sides. Because you have one side where you don't play anybody that hurts you. And then if you do play a lot of good teams, that could also hurt you too, because you could lose. But I'm just saying, this is my last comment on it, and I apologize, Kevin, is that 4 years ago, I think you can look up on the internet, when they had the Final Four, I think 3 of the 4 teams are from the SEC.
But that's every year. Because
they're better.
But it's biased.
No, they're better. They're better.
Okay, so the lowly, what is it? The Mountain West team came in and beat Michigan. And the only reason they got smoked in the championship game is they got hurt in that game. So, like, here's
Oh,
the
you
thing.
mean TCU?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, if that's what you want,
That's just
strength
what
of
it's been my
schedule
whole life.
and all these power conference teams in the same conference, let them play for the championship and let everybody else play. Because it makes no sense.
Kev?
You're not giving any of these other teams an opportunity for a championship because they don't play in the SEC.
I agree with you, Dan. 100%.
That's the reality of what we're talking about.
I agree with you.
Yes. Thank you, Dan.
That's what we've all been saying.
This is
in
what we've
different
been
languages, but basically it all comes down to that.
And that's
It
what I'm
all
saying.
comes down
Like,
to competition at
you
the
make
end
a
of the day,
power conference.
and we are not getting it outside of the SEC. Point blank, period.
Yeah,
That's it.
And the bowl or the playoff committee is biased towards the SEC.
I wouldn't say it's biased. I just think they just know.
No, dude, if there's an SEC team that has 11-3 record and they have 11-2 record in, what's the matter you conference, they're going to go with the SEC.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a lot of reasons, but yeah.
But the thing is you're saying that, like, Kevin, would you say the other night, the Ivy League is going to be able to play for the national championship?
And we know that Ivy League don't belong.
It's never going to fucking happen. Oh, sorry.
Right.
Never going to happen.
It's too late.
If those Ivy League alumni put in that money for that
But
NIL,
like it's a trophy, a participation trophy. This is what this
is
is.
there. Like when you just start dismissing other conferences because they're not the same powerhouse as the SEC, they can't compete for the national championship.
I don't believe
that's
that
BS.
I don't believe that at all.
The SEC play for the national championship, and then everybody else can play for second place.
Hold on, Dan. Let Kev jump.
Let me get in here a little bit. This has been great. 20-something minutes.
Sorry.
No, it's definitely what we want because everybody's passionate about it, man. I'll say this, and this is what Eric said at his introduction. This is why sometimes this is hard to deal with and hard to watch because there's no solution to the problem, right? X doesn't equal Y. Well, hold on, D. No, it doesn't, because I agree with all what you said. We're all saying the same thing, but just saying the different things. X doesn't equal X. X equals B. And yeah, the SEC, they absolutely. So, somebody's saying, hey, they lost early. Alabama lost early or lost to Oklahoma. Notre Dame lost to NIU or whatever.
Yeah, Northern Illinois.
It's unlike the NFL, which is totally different, right? There is a mechanism in the NFL, right, of how they consider a playoff team, right? Which we'll talk about here right afterwards. And college football, it leads for stuff like this.
Oh, they had it, Kev, and they stopped it. They put this whole committee room crap up in here, and it had people wilding out because it was decisions and who Condoleezza Rice liked and everything else. The reality is pretty simple, man. If you left it up with the computers and you put the information in the computer, it's going to spit it out regardless of conference. It's going to go by the best teams in the best conference.
Strength of schedule,
wins and losses. Period.
Okay.
All right, let me ask you this. Hold on, Dan. Okay. So, do you believe that there should we go back to 4 teams, or should we just should we go to 14?
Too late.
Well,
we
it's
already,
gonna be
we are already back
show.
to 4 teams. We just took a weekend to do something else. We're still back to the 4 games.
Yeah, we're still back to it, but to be honest with you, we need to get rid of. It needs to go back to it needs to go back to the 4 teams like they had it, because in reality, that's all it is. Now, what we got? Arizona State versus Tennessee. Is it Tennessee? That's
no. They lost, bro.
Yeah,
no, not Tennessee. Texas. I'm sorry, I get the T's. Texas, Arizona State, and Texas.
Yeah,
I don't believe. Okay, let me ask you. Let me ask you.
They have a good. They've got a good team.
Okay.
I don't think they can beat Texas.
Okay.
Well, that running back from Arizona State is nasty.
He's super duper.
Yeah,
he's nice, but they got a better defense, and they got yeah. It's going to take a lot for Arizona State now, unless they get up early, because Ewers bugs out when he gets when he's behind. He's like my man Brock Purdy. He don't come back and win no games either. But yeah, if viewers is right,
you're feeling some pain, aren't you, bro?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm not. Kev, no, I'm good because we're not going to lose that money. We're going to keep the rest of our players and let go of Brock Purdy. But that's another topic. But yeah, I just think, man, if we go back to the way things used to be, right? Dominant teams are dominant teams. Dominant conferences are dominant conferences. Now, it used to be a cheat code, and you are right, Dan. And I guess it was a bias because there was a time where the SEC. And you think about maybe 8 years ago, you had LSU, Alabama, Georgia. Arguably the three best teams in football, right, at the time. Same conference, though. And yeah, I knew these other teams joined the SEC, and I wasn't in favor of putting all these conferences together in the first place because I think it doesn't serve any purpose.
It doesn't.
What I'm saying with you, Dan, that I agree with, is that if they're going to have some realignment, it should be the big boy schools, we'll call them, with billion-dollar facilities and whatnot, and then the schools with $100,000 facilities, and then the schools like James Madison with smaller. Yeah, they don't belong together. They don't belong together. Those kids are not the same even coming out of high school.
Mm-hmm. So, I absolutely agree with you. So, Kevin put this graphic up here, right? Penn State's probably going to beat Boise. Unless Gentry loses his mind and runs over everybody, and he may, because sorry, Ryan, sorry everybody in America, he was a popular vote for the Heisman, and he is the Heisman Trophy winner.
Oh, people say he got screwed. So I mean,
either way, he is. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, I just think he is the best back. His numbers compared to Reggie Bush when he won the Heisman.
Oh no, he
crazy. But we'll get off that. Let's get
let me jump on that real quick, Dan. And I told this to Kevin. We talked about this. I said, yeah, listen, y'all got to remember, man, that this what's the boy named Hunter for Heisman didn't start this season.
Travis Hunter.
Yeah, the Travis Hunter for Heisman shit started last year. They were talking about this, and last season they were talking about this. So they were priming the pump.
Okay.
So I don't agree with it, but yeah, I got you.
So on that note, this dude, Hunter, yes, he plays both ways. He plays 100 snaps, 120 snaps a game. He was not in any of the top categories for receivers.
Well, that's why I said he was.
And won the receiver award. Mm-hmm. And that kid from San Diego State had the most receptions, most yards, most touchdowns. And he got fucked.
Listen,
sorry for the French.
The two freshmen that played, one that plays at Ohio State and one that plays at Alabama, that are wide receivers.
But
are both better than Hunter.
Kevin, can you put the graphic up again?
Oh, sure. I think that was so helpful. Okay.
And using graphics, yo.
Yeah, man. We on.
No. Let's be honest. Please. None of the games in the first round were surprises. Everybody knew who was going to beat who, right? So Penn State and Boise. Penn State should win that game unless they cannot tackle Gentry.
They're bigger. They should. Yeah.
Two of the only really good games is going to be Notre Dame, Georgia, Oregon, Ohio State. The Texas, Arizona State, Texas should win that.
I think
if we're being real,
I think
so.
I got
so
Ohio State and Oregon being a good game.
Yeah, but Oregon already beat Ohio State, so mental, all that stuff. But if we think about this, what they put for the 12-team process, everybody knew the four home. So the four teams that won played at home.
Yep.
So they had the home field advantage. Now these four games are going to be at neutral sites, so that makes it a little bit equal. So we say,
what's the joke?
As far as fans and whatnot, but for the most part, Boise is the odd man out. Everybody's counting them out. It's going to be Penn State, and whoever comes out of Notre Dame, Georgia, and then you got Ohio State, Oregon. Oregon already beat Ohio State. Take it, what you will, and then Texas, Arizona State. If they can stop that bruiser back from Arizona State, Texas should win that game. So, why? My question to the panel is the teams that got the bye in the first round, why are they not playing at home this week?
Money.
No, I know money,
Oh,
but if you gave 5 through 12 a home game, why are we not doing it for the final or lead 8, and then you can play the bowl games neutral site for the final 4?
Because I think they want to see what the money look like first. First year.
Yeah, I mean, I get it's going to come down to money, but it makes no sense that you give these teams basically a free bye in the first round playing at home, and then the next round they go to a neutral site.
It's a joke.
These teams won their conference, they won their championship, whatever.
It's a joke,
and they get nothing out of that other than a bye.
It's a joke.
Well, I'll say this. Let me jump in here. I think, Dan, we talked about this.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up.
I think for the sake, I'm with DA. They doing it for the money. They trying to see how it is. So next year it's 14 teams, and I'm with you.
Good God.
Yeah, so it's 14 teams. So we'll probably have a 4-hour show with that because it's still not going to be right. They just basically doing it for the money. So they okay, we're going to take these prominent New Year's Day and New Year's Eve bowls. We'll use them for the semifinal or the quarterfinals of the college football playoff, and we'll make it do what it do. I think they're just. I don't want to say they're making this up as they go.
Yeah,
they are.
Sound like it. It look like it.
They have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because there's never been a big football bowl game that didn't sell out all the tickets. So you could have had any one of these games this weekend. Could have been 2 of them in Arizona, 1 in California, and 3 in Florida, or whatever. People would have still went. You want to know why? Because bowl games are a destination. Who the hell wants to go to 10-degree Penn State to watch a game? Exactly. The damn fools there at Penn State.
Go ahead, Dan. I'm gonna jump in.
That was my point. Why the Elite 8 don't have home games. Because, all these bowl games that, it's taking away from, you got other teams that, unless you're Marshall and your entire team leaves to the portal.
That's right.
And you can't play in the game.
That's right.
But that's another topic. But
get this money.
You have enough teams that can play in these other, like the Rose Bowl. That was always Pac-10, Big Ten. So the ones that are in the playoffs, the third team that, wasn't in the playoffs from the Big Ten, they play, whoever didn't make from Pac-10 or whatever. You can put teams competitively in those games.
Right.
So it makes no sense that you're just going to say, it's about the money. No, because it doesn't matter who you put there. Teams are going to go. Yeah. Fans are going to go. They're going to sell it out. It doesn't matter.
I think
so. It's unfair to.
Yeah, it's unfair. But
the teams that were there, that got the bye, that they don't get a home game, but the other teams that get to that game did.
I understand you.
It's crazy.
I agree, but I just think that it's not just people going to the game. Do people spend more money at their alma mater? I don't know, but the answer for most things is money. So I'll just keep going with money.
We'll put it this way: the biggest reason is that they don't want to upset the other bowl games. In the teams that are going there.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So it's like, hey, the Rose Bowl always had this game.
Like you said, Dan, they're making it up as it goes along.
Oh, absolutely.
They may change it on Friday night and have them all play in Carolina or some shit. Who knows?
That'd be on championship team there.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. I'm not. Like I said, it's not as far fetched as when we say things like that to think that it's all just jokes, because it really doesn't seem like they're planning things out. So, doesn't seem that way.
Nah, I'll say this. I guess to wrap this up, because we literally did not talk about the games, and that I guess really no reason to talk about the games.
Really no need.
Yeah,
My
Really
apologies.
no need to.
My bad.
Yeah, no need.
No, there's no need. That was my point, Dan. There was no need.
The only thing I want to say is I saw where Smokey, the Tennessee Volunteer mascot, it entered the portal.
Hey, maybe you should have.
So I'm just putting it out there. If anybody wants a nice, canine, that Smokey is out in the portal.
He's the hound dog, right?
To be honest, I don't know. Old Rocky Top is no Rocky Top right now.
Somebody top got rocked.
Yes, they did.
All right.
So next week, the Peach Bowl, you have Texas versus Arizona.
Arizona.
You got the Rose Bowl. You have Ohio State versus the University of Oregon. And you have the Fiesta Bowl, Penn State versus Boise State. And then you have Notre Dame versus Georgia at the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans.
Quick question.
Go ahead.
Are these games in their respective stadiums, or
No. They're actually like the bowl games.
The bowl games.
So the Rose Bowl will be in California.
Pasadena.
Okay, so that was another problem I had with these, and I'm going to let it go. I mean, these guys was outside. I mean, in different venues that usually they don't. It's usually
that's a good point, G.
Inside or a warmer place, or warmer climate,
especially during this time of year for college football players, right?
Yeah.
So,
that's what I was saying. Like, why
that
they
did make
don't
a difference.
have home games?
Right. I thought it was funny, man. I kept saying, I said to myself, boy, that boy out there at SMU, he look around saying, damn, it's cold in the mother out here, boy.
Yeah. So what did you expect from the game? Like, they can't be fast on a frozen field, and that's what they are. They're fast.
But you always play on it, right?
So that's like me and Kevin were talking about. It was like, okay, so SMU's fast, but now you put them on a frozen field, and they can't cut and do all the things they do.
Don't want to tackle because it hurts more when it's
cold.
So,
it hurts when you
here
cold.
we are.
Remember those things?
Why
hold on. Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on.
Oh,
this crying.
Come on, bro.
Football,
Bring
man.
it.
Wherever you play at is where you play at. Yo, man, win all your games.
I agree with you.
And maybe if you're not in the SEC, if you win all your games, you would have a bye, and then maybe you would play at home or something like that. Yo, man, I'm not listen.
But
do some off-season training up in Buffalo, New York, man. You be all right, man.
Can't do that.
Man. Stop.
Buddy threw 2 pick sixes on both of them. Nobody on the offense tried to tackle that man running that ball. I was like, what the?
Hey, man.
Yeah,
the screen. That's it, man. I'm going to F.
We're talking about SMU from Texas.
I'm
where
going to
it's nice and warm.
I know.
Going to Penn State where it's 10 degrees.
And they look around
and you want to know why they had trouble.
They said they turned around, looked at the stands.
I remember there was a game where
white cats ain't got no shirts on.
Hey, man. I'm just saying, man. I just had to throw that out there, man. I agree with y'all. I just wanted to be different.
Them kids at SMU scared to death.
Yeah.
It's
It's definitely different.
10 degrees out here, they ain't got no shirts on. They ain't got no shirts on, man. And which goes back to Dan's other point, right? Which is why there should never be a Stanford and a SMU in the ACC.
Exactly.
That's not even like where your school is from. So the people that live there, like, come on, man. This is not a camping trip. It's a football game. Come on.
Take it away, Kev. Take it away. We're done with this.
Take it away, sir.
Let's transition to the National Football League. Couple of games yesterday that had some playoff implications. I just want to I think one of the illest plays, and y'all guys probably saw it. I'll talk about the Bears in the Lions game where Jared Goff, y'all probably saw it. I wish I can show it, but we would get flagged. Where he acted like he was fumbling the ball.
The old stumble rooski.
Through to the tight end, and that was like
that was a great play, Barry.
That was one of the illest plays. Let me read this from the AP from CBS Sports. Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions locked in from the start and delivered a bounce back performance that came from a few team records too. Goff threw for 336 yards and 3 touchdowns, and the Detroit Lions remain on the top of the NFC with their franchise best 13th win, 34-17 over the Chicago Bears on Sunday. Jamison Williams had a career high of 143 yards receiving on 5 catches, including a 82-yard touchdown in the second quarter. Jahmyr Gibbs ran for 109 yards, and the score in Detroit, 13-2, broke a tie with the 1991 and their 2023 teams for the most wins in franchise history. The Lions also set a single-season record for scoring with 493 points, and they improved to 7-0 away from Ford Field, a franchise record for road wins. The Lions took control early against the Bears, and they even fixed their dominance by executing a trick play, as I just said, in which Goff intentionally stumbled while dropping back with Detroit players yelling, "Fumble!" And Gibbs pretended to dive for the ball. Goff threw to Sam Laporta for a 21-yard touchdown that made it 34-14. Won't focus on this game enough. The Bears are a bad organization. As we say on the show, they are a trash organization. They continue to lose. D-Dubs, go ahead, take it away. I'll let you get on this game.
Yeah, man. The Lions is a good team, and the Bears are a bad team. And they actually, I looked at this play. I'm like, y'all really fell for that, huh? Y'all fell for that. But the guy was wide open, caught it.
Fumble!
Yeah, I mean, hey.
But that's kudos. Like the trick plays in college.
Yeah,
that was a brainiac play that they drew up.
Yeah, I've seen that play done before, and it's a lot easier to pull off than most people think, because football is a very segmented game. So everybody has their own job.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So if you are on the D line and you hear fumble, you're looking for the ball. Your head is down and you're looking to get the ball, because the ball is life. Everybody else that hears it, all it takes for them to do is to take one look off of the guy that's the receiver. It's all it takes, one look, and he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as hard, because it's a very isolated game, man. Everybody has their job to do. So if you hear the balls on the ground as a lineman or a linebacker, that's all you are looking for. Because the dude that got beat, he didn't hear nobody yell fumble.
No.
He didn't hear nobody yell fumble. What he did was he took another look because he heard something. And then when he looked back, dude was gone. And it's not as hard to do. People, that's why I don't watch TV anymore. I watch like the Looney Tunes every day now, because I can't watch sports TV.
We banned you.
The Roadrunner is awesome.
Yeah, gotta watch that. I don't watch those people, man, because they talk like these guys are retarded. That wasn't it.
Well, I'll say this: like all year, if you watch Detroit play, Ryan, shout out to you. Not our Ryan, a different Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan, whoever you are.
He's a Lions fan. But if you watched like some of the games that they were blowing out people, they've ran some crazy ass plays.
And that's what I was about to say. Shout out to Dan Campbell. And that's again,
like
my point from last week.
Yes,
I'm going ride with him. If he's been doing this all since he's been here.
Yeah, they're coming up with plays, and when they get to a point where they can run them, they run them, where it doesn't hurt the team. And this kind of happened to be a play where, it wasn't, out of hand game, but it was one of those things where it's like, let's see if this works.
Well, I know, Dan,
because they know they're going to the playoffs, and they're going to use this stuff in a playoff game. All the shit that they ran all year, these crazy plays to linemen and whatnot, this is going to come back in the playoffs because they want to see if it works.
Well, Dan, one thing is that I read today that the running back did say that they were going to run it in the first quarter. Because they got the same look that they wanted, but they just didn't do it. So they said we'll wait and do it later because they had the same look. So it's something that they saw. Every play in football is a setup for another play. So
Yes.
that's what happened. So like I said, man, I like to see it. I'm glad because you know what? We beat them last year, and we're not going nowhere this year. So I'm really happy that they may go and beat my hated rivals, the Kansas City Chiefs, if they happen to play in the Super Bowl.
I'm just happy they do this because it brings new life to football. Like an ex of mine was always like, "This is what's like watching bowling. Like
God,
you roll the ball down, the pins fall down.
Wow.
Maybe not all of them, but they all get back up, and a couple minutes later, you throw the ball again, and it's the same thing.
I think Dan Campbell came in. I think we said it back then. He's built a team inside out.
Yeah,
He
open
built a
mind.
team inside out. Lineman first. They got the best offensive line in the game. When Aiden Hutchinson comes back and the other dude comes back, they'll probably have the best defensive line in the game again.
Yeah.
So, I think Philadelphia.
Well, close to it.
Yeah. Well, but you got to look to see what's going on with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
That concussion.
That team is. He'll be back in a week or two. I would sit him down anyway. I wouldn't play him and Saquon the rest of the year. Don't matter. I'm going.
Yeah, I mean,
you're not going to get the number 1 seed. Period. You'll get a bye, but you'll get the number 2 seed. That's all you ain't shoot. Man, listen.
Let me move on to the next game. This game is for you. I picked this game for 2 reasons. One, well, I'll just read it from CBS Sports from the AP. Chuba Herbert didn't soak after his fumble in the overtime 3 weeks ago in front of a crowd that caused the Carolina Panthers a win against the rival Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But the memory of letting his teammates down was never far from his mind. I didn't beat myself up too much about it. I just told myself when the next opportunity comes, make the most of it. Hubbard said he did just that on Sunday. Hubbard ran for a 21-yard touchdown in overtime, and the Panthers eliminated the Arizona Cardinals from playoff contention with a 36-30 victory, capping a brilliant day for the 4th-year running back in Carolina's final home game of the season. Hubbard finished with 152 yards, 1 shy of his career high, and 2 TDs on 25 carries. I just want to bring to attention Bryce Young. He was 17 for 26, 158 yards.
He's looking good.
2 TDs, and Dan, that is why I wanted to bring attention to it, man. That this kid got a lot of grief in the beginning, man, and I'm personally glad that he's working it out. They're working with him. Hopefully, the owner will just be a good owner and just be quiet and let his people work. Let people work, but we'll say that for another day. I just want to ask you, as an Arizona guy, as a Cardinals fan, your thoughts on the Cardinals season. I thought the Cardinals were going to be there at the end, at least getting the playoff record. But what's your thoughts on the Arizona Cardinals, on the Birds, the game?
Well,
they suck.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. At the beginning of the season, I didn't think that they were going to do anything. I thought they was going to be competitive, maybe 6-7 wins. They got 7 wins. They're at 7 right now. For them to be in contention for as long as they were was good to see. But I think that was only because of San Fran's issues.
We still got
internally. Yeah, I think everybody here would had the thought that this was San Fran's division to lose.
Absolutely.
And they've lost it.
Yes.
But I will say this: even though I did not pick Carolina to win this game, I am not shocked. Carolina has been playing, at least looking like a football team these past few weeks, and Arizona looked across the field and said, "Oh, we're going to Charlotte," and this is what happens every time when they do not take the opponent seriously. This is what happens, and it's usually a team that they're supposed to beat. And even though Arizona to me was not supposed to be here right now, this was a bad loss. Yes, it's a road game, whatever. This was a bad loss, but it is what it is, man. It gives them perspective. They can sit some players down. They can see what else they got on that team and get ready for next year, man. I mean, not to say that they're not going to play hard these final weeks, but it was I mean,
Well,
you could be over 500 if you win these last two games. But it is what it is, man. Shout out to Bryce Young, um, for betting on himself and not letting all of all of the naysayers who basically threw him in the trash. He kept on working, and the Panthers. And shout out to the Panthers organization, the coaching staff for continuously working with them behind the scenes. And this is what they got something to build on, man. I mean, they got their quarterback. Is he a franchise quarterback? That's yet to be seen, but they have something to work with. They have something to build on. That's all you want for your team. Is something
You got
to
to act
build
like a
off
franchise
of. So
first.
shout out to the Panthers, man.
well, I'll say this: if Connor doesn't get hurt in that game, they probably win.
Yeah.
Connor
True.
getting hurt, that there's a couple plays at the end of the game. They get first downs. They can run the clock out. It doesn't happen, but it is what it is. But
Yeah.
like we all have said, when you bring a quarterback into the NFL, you cannot just start him right off the bat. Like Stroud did great last year. What's he doing this year? Now people have tape on him. Not so well. But with Bryce Young, like their offensive line was so bad, and he was running for his life every down that he couldn't pass the ball. But now they kind of shored things up, and now he's playing well. He's not a bust. He's not. He's not.
He won the Heisman, dude. He can play.
Yeah, but at the same time, Ryan Leaf, was a quarterback. Keely Smith, coming out of college. You throw these guys to the wolves right out the gate, and even Bryce was in that same category where they started him right off the get go, and it's like, no, you can't do that. Give him time, let him get comfortable, let him feel the speed of the game, and now you see that he's playing way better than he has in the past. But it has to do with the fact that he had time to sit while the Red Rifle played. Just give these guys time. You cannot rush people to play.
I just think, guys, what we'll see in the next year or two is that they're probably gonna win the NFC South, not next year, but year after, because the two things they did, Dan alluded to. The one was first, the reason why Bryce isn't running around so much is because they upgraded, trained up, fixed up the offensive line. All right, so he's not having to do that, and the defensive line is playing a hell of a lot better. So the two things that help a quarterback is the offensive line in front of you, and the defensive line to get you the ball back. So they're doing both of those. They've already had weapons because they've been a bad team for a while, so they drafted relatively well. The kid from South Carolina is going to get better. Yeah. I'm gonna stop there because your boy Shay, again, that foolishness, man. He's a rookie. No one said anything about you when you were a rookie because you wasn't even playing. Riddle me that.
I think people forget, D. I think these TV guys, they forget. Boy, do they forget. But you can't say nothing about them, right?
Oops. I'm done.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely done.
Oh, you better not. Oh, my God. Why did you say that about me? Let me move on to the next game. I think the game of the day from CBS Sports, Landover, Maryland, Jaden Daniels was not worried when he and the Washington Commanders trailed the Philadelphia Eagles by 14 points. With just 7 minutes left, and the rookie quarterback was similarly undaunted, staring down a 13-point deficit going into the fourth quarter after Jalen Hurts was sidelined with a concussion. I always believe that we can win this game, no matter what Daniel said. This game never was over until the clock hit zero. Daniels got the ball when the clock were at 1:58, and he delivered his latest masterful performance by finding Jamison Crowder in the end zone with 6 seconds left to give the Commanders an emotional 36-33 comeback victory Sunday that ended the Eagles' winning streak at 10. It was the 5th touchdown pass of the game as Daniels shined and kept Philadelphia from celebrating the NFC East at Northwest Stadium. You got these guys that came in on the winning streak, and they were on. They were hot, and it was a good team, rightfully so. Good offense, good defense, all around, well prepared. And you want to go out there and see where you matched up against these type of guys. Daniel said these type of situations, and when it's on thin ice and plays need to be made, that's where you live for. He says, if you really love this sport, you live for those big time moments when it comes down to the end. Daniels is the first Washington QB to throw for 5 touchdowns since Mark Rippon in 1991. That was Washington's most recent Super Bowl winning season. Rippon, who was the MVP of the Super Bowl, was in attendance for Sunday's game. For those young guys that don't remember when the Redskins Commanders were really good, you know what I'm saying? Like back in the 90s and the 80s, Mark Rippon was one of those. You had Mark Rippon, you had Doug Williams, Joe Theismann, of course.
No. Doug Williams, the Super Bowl champion.
Yes, and Joe Theismann.
I said Doug Williams, Dan.
But put respect on his name. He won the Super Bowl.
Okay, okay, Dan. Okay.
I mean,
Hey, Doug Williams.
I'm not trying to bust your balls, but
it seems like you are. But Doug Williams won the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl with
that was significant. That was significant.
Hey, boy, what's his name? Timmy. I forget the dude's name. Ran for like 300 yards that game.
Yeah, he ran wild.
Yeah,
back to 2024. Shout out to Doug Williams if you're watching. Thank you, sir.
Sorry,
Super Bowl winner and MVP. Thank you. Hey, let's get back to 2024. Hey, Jaden Daniels, man, 5 TDs yesterday. They overcame 5 turnovers. I watched this game, man, and I was like, man. I said, man, they keep turning the ball over, man, but, they kept staying in the game. They kept staying in the game. D-Dubs, your thoughts on the Commanders and the Eagles?
Hold on. Absolutely good game. I was switching back and forth, switching around, but I seen that towards the end, and they executed down the stretch, man. And even though overcoming with the 5
turnovers,
5 freaking turnovers, man. That's usually you turn over the ball that many times that that's pretty much that's an automatic loss, man. It's kind of hard to dig yourself out, but shout outs to the Washington Commanders. They came through. Jaden Daniels. I mean, what can you say, man? The kid is he's a pretty good kid. He could sling the ball around. They still alive. The Eagles wanted to win that game, man. They wanted to
rest some players and
absolutely. But that NFC East, divisional games is always tough. Not shocking. We always said. I think the guy said, it's not shocking. You're in the division games. These games happen, man. Even if the Commanders was a bad team, man, you can't take these teams lightly at all.
Yep, got you. That's definitely a thing. So yeah, that's what it is. Let me move on to the next game. Hey, how ironic is this? This Vikings and Seahawks game. Vikings wind up winning this game. Put some respect on Geno Smith's name, right? Who's a what? He's an ex-Jet quarterback. And put some respect on who else's name? Sam Darnold, who's a what? He's an ex-Jet quarterback who both played brilliant yesterday. The Vikings got the win. Sam Darnold has inspired confidence in his coach and teammates throughout his career-changing season. But the Vikings faced another late deficit that had no doubt he delivered. Darnold connected with a well-covered Justin Jefferson with 3:51 left for his 3rd touchdown pass of the game, and Minnesota outlasted Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks 27-24 on Sunday to keep pace with Detroit for the top spot in the NFC. After the Seahawks took the lead on Smith's 3rd TD pass, Darnold led a 30-second drive that was aided by a 15-yard face mask penalty. He stepped up and collapsed in pocket and launched a deep ball that Jefferson hauled in just short of the goal line with 2 defenders closing in, man. So go ahead.
Shout outs to Sam Darnold, man. That's all I can say, man. This guy, I'm assuming he's going to get paid this year, next year.
Yeah, it won't be with the Vikings though.
It won't be with the Vikings, but he's going to get paid. He's going to go somewhere, and he's going to get paid. And shout outs to him for playing an extraordinary season this year. This year, I mean, 22-35 yesterday, 246, 3 TDs.
Mm-hmm.
Good game for him, and I'm glad for him, man. I'm glad because it started off shaky with that trash organization with the New York Jets, man. And I'm happy for guys who are able to turn it around. They was drafted as a good quarterback, and they got with the sometimes you could get with the organization that doesn't organize correctly. You know what I'm saying? So hey, shout outs to him. Good game by the Vikings, and they staying close with the Lions.
I'll say this, and we're gonna move on for this game. Sam Darnold definitely did his thing. Think Seattle still in playoff contention? I'm not sure here.
I don't think they got eliminated.
They're 8-7,
They
and
didn't get there.
they still I think they're still in the mix.
Yeah. But both quarterbacks, like I said, DA said it last week. People better start putting respect on Geno Smith's name. He overcame that being with the Jets organization, which is we know is a dumpster fire.
He's another one. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Overcoming that. And we say it on this show all the time. Where you start at, man, determines your destiny, man. It does. And if you don't have the organization or the support, who knows what'll happen to you.
Yeah.
And this is what you got, man. So when you got quarterbacks having seven offensive coordinators in 2 years, man, that's a problem, man. Whether you want to admit it or not, man, or you got the owner, he's on the field calling the plays, or he got his sons calling the plays from Madden, that's a problem.
Hey, think of it this way: you have Aaron Rodgers, and you still can't win.
You still can't win, my guy. Yes.
So
what does that say?
What do you think? Sam Darnold can do. I mean, let's be honest.
A system with an offensive coordinator that has things that work out for the player. This is a good system. These guys, their egos are too big, so you're gonna get whatever you get and say, "Oh, you're gonna work in my system." No, it never works that way. You got to adjust what you do to what your quarterback does.
Yep.
Hey, and just to recap on where Seattle's at right now, they're in 9th place. They are outside looking in. Green Bay got that last spot at 10-4. Washington's on the outside looking in, 10-5. Tampa Bay 8-7. And
I don't think any of those teams are gonna make it.
Yeah, so as good of a season as the Commanders are having, they are on the outside looking in. They Tampa Bay win tiebreak over Seattle based on the best win percentage in conference games. So Tampa Bay, they're gonna need some help there. Yeah, those are the 3 teams outside looking in: Washington, Tampa Bay, and Seattle.
Okay. Let me go to this second to last story we're talking about. This is just really, we're not going to focus on the game. The Falcons beat down the Giants 34-7. The biggest thing during that game was Michael Penix Jr. He got his first start. He looked comfortable, 18 for 27. He did throw a TD. He threw for 202 yards, but the Falcons got the victory. He looked comfortable to me. I'll just read this from the AP. Michael Penix Jr. felt a brief bit of apprehension as he ran down the tunnel, which was to be expected. Then he played like a veteran for the Falcons. Penix's first NFL start went about as smoothly as it could, helped greatly by the defense that returned 2 interceptions for a touchdown Sunday in a 34-7 rout of the New York Giants that boasted Atlanta's playoff hopes. It's the game that I've been playing since I was 5 years old. The 24-year-old Ricky said, obviously it's different. It's at a higher level, but you know what? It's the same game. I just got to go out there and execute. Once we hit the field, I was good. So, like I said, watch that game, was doing the red zone. He looked comfortable. Yes, they was playing against my New York Giants. Giants, y'all keep doing y'all thing, keep losing. I am cool with it. Keep losing. Keep losing.
Don't start having pride now.
Yeah. Last 2 games, keep losing, so we get that number 1 spot. D-Dubs. Your thoughts? Do we clean house? Do the Giants clean house?
I thought you said you wasn't talking about this bum ass team, Kev.
Hey man,
Here we are.
Take that, bum. There you go. Go back to the topic.
Man. They probably gonna have to clean house, dog. They're gonna have to redo this whole thing. If they're gonna start off with a new quarterback, they got Usher in. They're gonna have to get a guy who knows what they're doing.
That's the problem, right there.
It might be the problem, but it is what it is.
But here's the thing: you keep switching coaches, coordinators, and everything else, and then here we are. Oh, my quarterback sucks. Yes, Daniel Jones was a mistake. We get that.
Sir. You was not saying that when Matt Canada was in control of your.
Oh, bullshit! I call for Matt Canada's head every freaking week.
Well, where's this? You can't be changing.
I'm saying the coach, not the coordinator.
Or coordinators,
like
they're all the same shit.
Daboll has this team locked in. They just can't do anything with what they got at the quarterback position. Here's a thought. Let's just throw this out there. Daniel Jones or Saquon Barkley? I'll wait.
Hey, man, he said clean house. He didn't say we don't have no respected person, bro.
Yeah.
Come on now. But which one you keeping?
Dan, it doesn't matter if you don't have nobody to block for Saquon Barkley. That's why I said what I said.
Okay, so is the coach the problem or is the drafting department the problem?
Well, that's why I said get rid of the general manager. He's part of the problem too. Yes,
okay.
Bro.
I'm okay with the general. I'm okay with the drafting department, but your coach isn't terrible.
We
understand that, but they come hand in hand, bro. You know.
So the next guy that comes in, he's not gonna rock with this coach. He's gonna want to get his own person in
there. Yeah, it goes hand in hand, man. That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna get rid of the GM, the GM's the new one that's come in, he's gonna want his people in there. That's just how it is. You know it. It's just like anything. Not necessarily right. Do I think yeah? Well, unless they could build a relationship, unless they have some type of relationship that we don't know about.
All I can do is look across the sideline. If the other team plays in the Meadowlands, and you're doing the same freaking stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. Just gonna be
I understand. Yo, man, listen, man, it's hard, man.
But
it's hard
if the guy can coach, he can coach. If the GM's trash, the scouting department's trash, then yeah, fix those. But if you're gonna get rid of everybody, guess what? The guy comes in might be trash too, as a coach. But you have a good coach.
And I get it. I'm cool with that. I'm saying whoever the GM, if you just saying we're going to get rid of the GM because the GM did a horrible job. All right, we got it. But if he has to make sure that he's going to rock with this coach. That's all I'm saying. And if he's not going to, you're going to end up switching out the whole thing. That's all I'm saying.
I think
I get what you're saying, but
I understand what you're saying. I just think that goes with any organizational job. Anybody at the top, they bring somebody. If they come in, they're gonna bring their people in. They really not gonna stay with the person, the incumbent that was there.
And all those teams that do that, where are they at now? The bottom.
Well, then you got
not necessarily.
Not
most of them. Think about it.
Go ahead.
Think about it. Yeah, think of all your bad teams that they keep changing coaches.
I kind of agree with Dan.
There's no continuity. You're asking a rookie quarterback to come in and play with one coach and one offense coordinator, and then next year, we got somebody else. Case in point, what is Sam Darnold doing this year? You had him.
No.
We didn't have him.
We didn't have him.
Giants didn't have him. Please put some respect on us.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The Jets had him.
The Jets had him. Hey,
believe me, I get what you're saying. I got you.
You're both in the Meadowlands. Same ballpark.
I got you.
But you understand what I'm saying? Like, if you keep changing everything every year, you're going to be the Cleveland Browns. You're going to have a different quarterback every damn year with the number one pick, and it never works out because you keep changing everything else around him.
So,
anybody gets drafted by Cleveland or a top team of that caliber, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to pull John Elway. I'm not playing for you. Trade me, or I'll go back and draft.
Playing baseball.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm cool with you. I understand. Daboll has not done a bad job as far as I'm concerned, it's just that it's the stuff that he got
He's
around
doing
him.
what he can with what he got.
I got it.
So if you can't draft linemen, like I'm gonna get flamed, but if you look at the Steelers, our offensive line, we had so many people retire. We had to bring so many people in. And now the offensive, like McCormick, Frazier, both rookies out of college, they're fucking animals. Excuse my French.
Too late.
Yeah. Okay. So we're good. Okay. But
Yeah.
anyway,
We started in 30 seconds.
okay. But yeah, sorry, DA. But that being said, like it's not only who you draft, you have to
coach 'em up,
fill
man.
the positions that you're weak at. So if you're weak at offensive line, don't, draft a guy. Okay, that's great. But there's so many free agents across the league that you could bring in to solidify that. And that's kind of where the Giants are failing. They're like, oh, no, our guys are good. And they're not.
Dan, go ahead.
And that's why I think Daniel Jones failed. Because if he had a good offensive line in front of him, maybe he's worth the money you paid him before you cut him. And that's the whole thing with the NFL. It's like if you set a guy up for failure, he's going to fail. If you set him up for success, he's going to succeed. So
Easier said than done, but he went backwards, man. He went backwards.
Yes, because like when you say hike and there's a guy all over you, come on, let's be real. It doesn't matter if you had Dan Marino, Joe Montana. It doesn't matter.
I got what you're saying, Dan. I got what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I hear you. I'm just saying that the general manager who has not drafted well, right? We're back to this thing. What's this guy's name? The other on the right end. He's just as bad as Eric Flowers. Oh my God. And we're right back at it. So football wise, you're supposed to build within and out, right?
Right.
Giants, Joe Shine has not really done that. I'm just saying to you, if Wellington Mara, John Mara decides to keep both of them, okay, I'm fine with that. They're going to start all over, but I wouldn't be shocked if he cleans house also. It just depends. And he looked really pissed off in that box yesterday when we got those 2 interceptions and we looked crazy in Atlanta. Go ahead.
Hey man, I gotta go. All I know is that there's somebody flying an airplane outside of MetLife Stadium with a banner that says everybody must go. Hey, it says Mara. It's like somebody wrote a ransom note in the sky.
Is that the
Mara.
same guy that's flying all the drones?
I don't know. I don't know, man. But there's somebody flying a banner over MetLife Stadium saying, "Hey, guy, you need to get everybody going." So
y'all just right now, y'all stuck at being a bad organization. It's going to take some time. But you should never. I gotta go too. But the reality is, what Dan says comes from maybe him being more spoiled than everyone else. Is that
of course he is.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, and my Niners, we never fall too far off. You know what I'm saying? Without injuries, but
yes.
So when you draft badly and don't coach, because that's what the Giants, their biggest crime is that they don't coach their players up. Because I can tell you guys, none of the dudes in the NFL are scrubs. They all might not be as good, but if you don't coach them up, they're not going to be no good.
Nope.
And I think that's probably the biggest thing that the Giants do wrong.
Got you. We'll revisit all of this stuff back on next Monday. Real quick, want to give Ricky Henderson. He passed away this weekend. Ricky Henderson played for the Hall of Fame, the greatest leadoff hitter and base stealer of all time. He passed away at age 65. Ricky Henderson's played for 9 teams during his 25-year career span from 1979 to 2003. He is the all-time leader in runs scored, 2,295, stolen bases 1,406, and leadoff home runs at 81. Among other things, Henderson retired with 3,055 hits, 297 home runs, and helped the Athletics and the Blue Jays win the World Series. As the baseball world began to mourn Henderson, an outpouring of tributes and heartfelt messages came in from former teammates and players and others in baseball on social media. Fellow Hall of Famer Dave Wilfeld wrote, "I still cannot believe I lost one of my favorite teammates and great friend, Ricky Henderson. Rest in peace." Real quick, I'll say this: Ricky Henderson, man, was the man. You had absolutely had to strategize for him because he was a leadoff hitter. He can hit for power, and he stole bases. Like I said, he's the stolen base king. He actually finally surpassed Lou Brock, and great ball player, hustling all the time. Dear, your thoughts on Ricky Henderson before we leave?
That's it. I just agree with you. One of the best to ever do it. One of the best to ever do it. Got a lot of love for him, what he did. So, God bless his family. And hey, prayers up.
No doubt. Dan, before we leave?
I was just gonna say, I can remember back in the day, was it Hunter stolen base?
Yeah.
Like they used to break into different ball games when he got on base to see if he stole. And like DA, man, thoughts and prayers to his family. Good dude. And, saw some videos and stuff of him. I can't think of the guy's name. It was on ESPN. But he
Harold
won.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Harold Reynolds, yes.
Yes. He won the stolen base title when Ricky was hurt. And I think it was like 59 or 60.
Mm-hmm.
And Ricky called him and said, "Yo, 60,
Anderson,
really? That's what we're doing?" Yeah. He said, "Yo, Ricky here," or whatever. And it was like, the dude was such a good ball player. And it was exciting. Like that we talk about baseball and like the excitement of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like, "Oh, it's home runs now." But, for us old farts, like stealing bases,
Yeah, hopefully they can get back to that at some point.
it's not.
Yeah, I know.
It's analytics now. It's like, you can't do that. But what he did when he did it was amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
And he's such a great dude. Thoughts and prayers for his family. We all enjoyed watching him play baseball.
One of the best. Never be another one. So
one of the best. Listen, we're going to get out of here. No show this weekend. No show this Thursday. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everybody. Make sure you have a safe holiday. Be safe. Be careful. We'll be back Monday to hopefully we'll talk about some better college football playoff games this weekend coming up, man. So listen, on behalf of myself, I'm Kevin Owen, your host and moderator for
Dan. No parting shots? What are we doing?
It's Monday.
It's Monday, dog.
Oh, I'm never here.
But since you go ahead and give your parting shot, so
no, I just want to say, I was told I could talk about this at the end of the show.
Yes,
but no. Or recap of the New York Rangers. They lost 2 straight after beating Dallas. And, the Carolina goalie had more points than the Rangers in that game.
Just gonna keep
he had 2. They only had 1 goal. But the big news is Matt Rempe got suspended again. And he got 8 games. And like we've been saying, or at least I've been preaching, somebody teach this kid how to hit somebody. If you see the numbers, you don't hit somebody. But I hope everybody has a great Christmas, great holidays, all that good stuff. Love for everybody. It's in the chat, been, commenting. Mikey, I know your stuff froze up. Whatever, it is what it is. We love you. Glad you're here. Hope everybody has a great holiday season.
Gotcha. Thank you, Dan. DA, you got anything?
No, sir. Everything that Dan said. That's it.
Thanks, DA.
Yes, sir.
Don't do drugs on Christmas.
Yeah.
Don't get arrested either.
Don't leave your house.
Open your gifts at the house. Yeah. I don't have anything. Like I said, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your week. Be safe. Be careful. Like I said, we will not be on Thursday. We will be back this coming Monday, of course, to talk about the college football playoffs, quarterfinals, and the NFL Week 17 that's going on. So we'll definitely dive in that. Shout out to all those that was in the comments. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Make sure you share the show with somebody. Make sure you hit the bells for all the notifications so you can get all this wonderful comments. So listen, on behalf of myself, I'm Kevin L. Warren, for Dan, the hockey dude, for Dorian D.A., the Auburn, for Daryl D. Dubs Warren, for James, the angry one, for Mike Mills and Ryan D'Souza in their absence, man. Yo, this is the Sports Chasers podcast. Y'all be good. Be great, man. Have a blessed week. We'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Sports Chasers podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms, and connect with us on all social media channels for exclusive content and updates. We'd also love for you to join the conversation, share your thoughts, and become part of the Sports Chasers community. And remember to tune in next time for some more real sports talk. Until then, stay frosty.